Today we're going to be talking about why I'm an advocate for budget bikes. Now, as you guys know, if you've been around a while, you know I've been riding the Trek Marlin 6, the Trek Roscoe 7, and just budget bikes in general, like the Polygon Siskiyou D6. It's not really a budget bike, but it's a budget for its class, I guess, for being a full suspension mountain bike. I'm just going to be telling you guys why I'm an advocate for budget bikes and why I like riding budget bikes. Every bike is awesome, don't get me wrong. If you gave me a Specialized S-Works or a Trek Remedy or something, you better believe I'm taking it and making a beeline towards the trail. But in this video, I just want to let you guys know why I like budget bikes and why I think majority of people should look into budget bikes before they get an expensive bike and the benefits of them. Now, I know we all have a bunch of different backgrounds. A lot of us grew up on expensive or nice bikes. Some of us grew up on Walmart bikes. So for me, just riding a bike when I was younger in general was fun for me. We didn't really know about bikes. We just got on a bike. We saw a bike and we liked it. We rode it. We didn't really know anything about bikes. So I didn't know the differences between all these categories, mountain bikes, road bikes, and all that until here recently in the past year since I've been biking. So for me, being on a budget bike is kind of like being on an expensive bike because I've never been on bikes even that was $600 like the Trek Marlin 6 or 6 or 700, whatever it is now. I've never been on bikes that expensive, never even thought of a bike being that expensive. You told me back when I was younger a bike cost $600, I'd be like, you crazy, I'm not buying that. But now that's cheap for the people who are into the biking world. I'm just going to be trying to reach majority of people because a lot of us, we just like to ride for fun. It's nice having that expensive bike, trust me, because when I have my status, I'm just rolling over stuff. It feels so good. But knowing you got a bike you can afford and have fun on, I think that's the best feeling. I know a lot of people feel self-conscious when they see people on the trail with expensive bikes and they got a cheaper bike than most people on the trail, but that's the one thing I like about the biking community is, for the most part, most people are supportive no matter what kind of bike you ride. They're just excited that you're on the trail and that you're out riding. And that's what's made me even more comfortable riding budget bikes is because of the feedback I've been getting. They've been excited to see budget bikes like that and just pumping you up or like pushing you forward to try to make you ride even more or say, hey, yeah, you're doing an awesome job, or that's an awesome bike, just words of encouragement. And that's huge. I mean, you do have some of those people that look down on your bike, but majority of the time, most people are super supportive. One of the biggest reasons I like budget bikes is because they're easy to ride, easy to maintain, and easy to fix. Most bikes, like full suspension and all that, it takes a lot of time and effort learning about the bike, and if you take it in, it takes time for them to fix it, and it's usually a whole process. But with a budget hardtail, and I'm sticking to pretty much hardtails, by the way, just for reference. So budget hardtails are super easy to fix, usually in and out of the bike shop depending on what's wrong with the bike, because most bike shops have whatever parts you need available when you go into the bike shop. For someone like me who lives in Colorado with a bunch of rough terrain, a bunch of techie trails and stuff, majority of people don't live in places like that. So having a budget bike will actually benefit most people, I think, especially beginner mountain bikers, because you're not usually riding trails like that, and depending on where you live in the country or in the world, you might not even need a bike that capable. So here in Colorado, you kind of need a full suspension and a little bit of travel and stuff, because it'll rough you up on the trail if you don't have them. But a lot of places you don't really need that much capability. For example, I went to Omaha, Nebraska, I think it was last year, and they didn't even sell 160 travel bikes. They had all cross-country, fuel EX, top fuel type bikes. They didn't sell remedies or slashes or downhill bikes or anything because they don't have that kind of terrain there. So certain parts of the country or the world don't even sell certain bikes that you would even want to buy because the terrain or whatever kind of riding you do in that area is not built for that kind of bike. That's another reason why I love budget bikes, because they're more all around. You can find them pretty much anywhere. Another huge factor with budget bikes or low-end bikes for me is after you ride them for a while, you start to build a lot of confidence. And on the trails, that's what biking is all about, is confidence. That's how you get better, is building confidence. And once you get comfortable with the bike, then you'll start to realize, hey, I might need to upgrade this, or hey, I might need this and this and this. It helps you also learn about the bike and learn what things you need to be a better rider. You kind of max out the potential of the bike, or the parts, or they break, so you kind of start to learn what you need in the future. And it makes it even more fun when you do get capable parts or bikes, because you've been riding the budget low-end bike so long that you get on a more capable bike or a higher quality bike, you start to kill it, because it's super easy compared to riding the budget low-end bike. Just because I'm talking about budget bikes or low-end bikes, don't get me wrong. If you can go out and get you a nice bike and afford it and be able to maintain it and do whatever you got to do, I would suggest doing that. You would want to get a bike that's capable and long lasting if you can right out the gate. But I want to tell you guys that if you have to get a low-end or a budget bike, you shouldn't feel disappointed, because those are just as fun as the higher expensive bikes. So that's my point, is if you can get an expensive bike, I'm not gonna tell you not to. I would too. But if you have to get a budget bike, I want you guys to know that you can still have a lot of fun. I ride budget bikes every single time I go out, and I have a lot of fun. More fun than I had on my Status, which was, I mean, I wouldn't say an inexpensive bike, but it definitely wasn't cheap. It was kind of mid-level range bike. Another advantage of having a budget bike, in my opinion, is usually they are all-purpose bikes. So you can ride them trail, you can commute, you can do pretty much anything with them. You can ride gravel trails, and that's a nice thing about having one of those bikes, is you don't have to pull out different bikes. You can just have that one that does it all. You can put racks on them most of the time. You can put kickstands on them if you want to. And if you want to commute through the city, or you want to do a ride with other people long distance, you don't have to switch up bikes. You can have an all-in-one bike, and if you're ready to hit the trails, you could take that stuff off and go smash the trails. So I think that's another advantage of having a budget bike. So I just wanted to jump on here, tell you guys why I'm such an advocate for budget bikes. But don't go out and buy a budget bike if you can go get an expensive one. I'm not telling you that, but I'm saying if you have to buy a budget bike, then don't feel like you gotta wait it out and get an expensive one. Just go with the budget bike, get used to it, have fun with it, and then it'll help you transition into an expensive bike and make a better decision on which expensive bike you want to go with, or which upgrade you want to go with more as far as bikes or parts. If you guys got anything to add, and if you guys enjoy budget bikes and got some tips that you would like to add, leave them in the comments, and we'll love to be able to see what you guys have to share too. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.